Yes, it's a good afternoon today at the Focus Group. Karibu sana kwa the Focus Group. This is the place you're sure that you're going to get the best of the best, the trending news. And whatever you did not catch up in your mainstream media, this is the only place that you're going to be guaranteed to have the extra in-depth of all the interviews and all other matters, news in Kenya and also international. Thank you very much. Today it's when is the date? It's the 27th of April. The year is 2023. And today we're going to go a bit in depth on the conversation that we had yesterday. That is the Pastors Without Borders. These are very interesting fellas that we're finding in this country. They've taken some of us to heaven. I heard Ringtone today make a very interesting comment that whomever who died through the fasting is in heaven with the fathers. And today I'm joined by very interesting ladies. Habari zenu?
Wasana.
How you doing?
Very good.
Mko salama?
Kabisa.
How you see mwambie wa Kenya kidogo mnaitwa nani? Najua wanaonaga pale kwa D&D, Dada Next Door. Mujintroduce kidogo tujuane kidogo.
My name is Tracy Kajuju. I host the show D&D on Kelele TV. Okay. I'm also a communications practitioner. Okay. And I'm a TikTok person. I am a singer as well. Yes.
Okay, what do you sing?
Music.
Okay, that was a straight shot. Music, was it gospel, secular, what would you sing?
Everything. Yeah, I am not like I am not restricted to gospel or restricted to secular.
So for you, it's whatever sings.
Yeah, it's whatever good. Touches my heart is good to go.
Thank you very much. Super producer. Karibu.
Hi, viewers for the Focus Group. My name is Miss Newton Sharon, or double S. There's a reason why I use double S. Professionally, I'm a content producer. On D&D, I come in as a entertainment and lifestyle enthusiast and commentator. Yeah, I don't sing, but I do enjoy like just keeping up with what's happening. I try to shy away from politics, but when need be, I'll check out politics. I'll check out what's happening in the entertainment industry, business world. So I'm informed kidogo.
You're informed kidogo too?
Kidogo? Yes. I would say enough.
Kidogo too.
Kidogo too. Okay. Thank you. And for me, this is Duku Muita. You've seen me around if you watched the Focus Group. Thank you for watching us. Bwana Dennis, our Mr. Producer pale, najaribu kutafuta hii kitu pale Facebook. Sijioni na venye ninapiga kelele na naenda live lakini sijioni. Lakini I think that is itakuja baadaye. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us again. As you said, this is an interview that you're going to go quite in depth. We've seen a lot of mishaps here and there in the news. There's a lot of following with these stories about the pastors. Mr. Ezekiel today, the pastor Ezekiel in Mombasa, I don't know if to call him a pastor anymore. He's been stripped of his title by Mr. Kindiki. I do not know who gave Mr. Kindiki that. But he's the authority right now. He's the man in charge. So yes, ladies, there's a clip I want you to listen to here. It's a very interesting one. Before niingilie anybody else, I want you to listen to this. Munasikia kitu kweli? So now, let me just explain. Haina shida. So this young boy, I think he's 7 or 9 years. So he's saying that they do not go to school because of religion. So their pastor have advised them. The Italy even goes on and says that sio pastor anatufanya, ni sisi tunajua that hatufai kwenda shule. Now the most ironic thing is that this child is quoting the Bible. Na anasema acha nikusomee kiti kitabu. So my question is, mtoto atajulia wapi kusoma kama endi shule? And what's your take, first of all? What's your take in this matters religion? And all these barriers, there seems to be Wakenya on how people should go to heaven nowadays. What's your take on this?
I think it's insane, it's ridiculous, and it's despicable. It does not make any sense to me in the first place, because these kids, to me, they are innocent. Everything that a child knows, every morals, every values, whether good or bad, it's definitely taught. When a child is born, they are innocent, they don't know anything, they learn everything. They learn from their parents, they learn from the society, they learn from those around them, from their schools. So everything that these kids are saying, they learned it from somebody. Somebody sat them down and told them, you're not supposed to go to school. Okay. Do you think that child went and discovered and had a revelation one day and was like, I'm not supposed to go to school? No, this child was taught. That is something that was instilled in them. So I actually blame the adults within their community, within the family, that are letting their children also get caught up in all this drama and all this chaotic mess. Because yes, they are saying that religion is so important to them. They're saying that they should study the Bible. But you've brought a good point across. How are they going to study the Bible if they don't know how to read and write? Okay. Every human being has to know how to read, to write, and to communicate. So that's where school comes in. After school, you can decide whatever you want to do. If you don't want to have a career, that's fine. If you want to become a beggar, that's fine. If you want to become a preacher, a pastor, that's fine. But I don't think we should make these decisions for children. We should not brainwash our children. If watu wakubwa wamekubali kubrainwashiwa, hiyo ni sawa. They're adults, they can make that decision, but it's very unfair and very wrong to do that to children. That's my take.
Madam Producer, let me ask you a question. There's something very interesting she said, that it is the responsibility of the grown-ups to show the kids the direction. Mm-hmm. So here's to my question now. Within her point, she's made a very valid point, and it is the same point most people are making. So whose the responsibility is it to show these kids the direction? Because the pastor is giving the direction, but still, pastor sio baba yao watoto. So should Pastor Mackenzie be jailed for responsibility that lies with the parents?
Interesting question you ask, but let me give an example. I'm assuming all of us in this table are Christians.
Yes.
So who introduced you to church, Sunday school?
My parents.
Your parents. But when you got there, who did you find in Sunday school?
Your pastor.
The pastor.
Or your Sunday school teacher.
Sunday school teacher.
Yes.
So, our parents instilled in us let me say two things as of now. You go to school, you listen to the teacher. You go to church, you listen to whoever is conducting the church. And I don't know how, I'm not a parent as of now, so I wouldn't know how parenting is right now. But just looking back, we were taught to pick from the elders. If you can just reflect back, whatever those people who are at a certain position or are older than us, if they said, sisi wote tunaenda kuteremka Mount Kilimanjaro, and your parents heard of it, it was the word, na mtateremka Kilimanjaro. Whether you will die, freeze, sweat, that's the way. So when it comes to this, again, who introduced this, the church to the kids? It's the parents, because mzazi alichukua mtoto wake wakasema tuende kanisani. Kufika kanisani wakapatana na wanafunzi wa kanisa, walimu wa kanisa ama pastors. So I think it's a 2 for 2. But what I'll wish to say as a Christian myself and as a follower of Christ is, in recent times, people are interpreting the Bible in a very interesting manner. Okay. The way I'll read John 3:16 and understand it is not the same way you're going to read John 3:16 and understand it, and it's not the same way Thuku is going to read John 3:16 and understand it. In today's world, initially, I don't know, again, it's an assumption. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish. We all know what that means. Jesus came, but right now, with the way trends have been going, that could be the word, but the way the whoever is conveying the word to you breaks it down, completely means something different. So I'll hook that to how they're interpreting the Bible, because you've mentioned that the child from the video says hawafai kwenda shule, and he's even quoting the Bible. One thing, so I'll maybe differ from I'll have a different opinion from what Tracy said, is that school is important for everyone. In the modern day, kind of. But remember, before schools were introduced, people were still learning. There was an informal way of learning. Mm-hmm. True or false?
It's true.
It's true.
Yes.
Up to this day, let's all be honest, there are people who have not gone to school for formal education, but they do know how, they've learned 1, 2, 3 things. I'm not saying in terms of handwriting, ama Kingereza and whatnot, but they've learned. They've picked something. So,
but would you say that in the modern world, someone can really maneuver through it without any sort of education in our modern world?
That's where it can be hard. It's going to be very hard. Mm-hmm. But then my point is, both are at fault.
Let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. How would one learn anything without going to school with this modern age? You know, kitambo, it was hunting and gathering. Right now, how would you learn anything without going to school? If you're let out to the world as a child right now, let's give him 10 years of age. Mm-hmm. How would you learn anything without going to school?
How do street kids learn?
They learn through other people. You see what happens? It's called revert something. Let me remember the name, I'll show you. So I've gone to school. I will learn through you. Mm-hmm. So in any case here, education is involved. It does not have, it may be apprentice or something else. Apprentice is whereby I learn through your skills, pushed through me. So education is still earned in some way.
My point is, mm-hmm. These people are not, they're not being told, don't get formal education and mm-hmm. car. Mm-hmm. They're being told, usisome, kuja tukufunze hii mafunzo. And that's why, like, it trickles down to, as to why they're being brainwashed.
Okay.
Because they're at a point of, you don't have any other source of knowledge, but we are going to teach you this. So whatever we teach you here is what goes. So if you tell you don't go to school and the Bible says don't go to school, and itu ndio mafunzo umepata, are you not going to live by that? That's basically what I mean. Yes. So education is important, like kwenda darasa na kuketi kufunzwa, but pia unaweza pata mafunzo in a different way, and how we receive your mafunzo impacts how we think and how we receive things. For them, they've been told, don't go to school, come to church, tunawafunza Biblia, and I'm assuming majority of the time it is being read to them. Okay. Wanasomewa, and then it is being interpreted to them.
So they don't know anything. Let's assume they have not gone to school. Mm-hmm. So the Bible is read to them. So how will they know that is actually what the Bible is saying if they can't read what the Bible is saying?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, you see, they've not gone to school, right? But they've gone to church and they've been read for the Bible and they've been told it means ABCD. Of course, we're still in the modern day. Mm-hmm. Bado kuna Sunday school bado. I'm assuming kanisa ya Mackenzie ilikuwa na Sunday school ama bado ilikuwa na Sunday school. I don't know if it's still up and running. Mm-hmm. And kwa hiyo Sunday school kuna walimu. Walimu before ingie kanisa si walikuwa wanaenda shule. Yes. So watapata some form of education, not the ABCD 1 to 3, but watafunzwa John 3:16 inasema for God so loved the world. Na watafunzwa, they might not be able to fully write down whatever it is that they're being taught, but they'll pick. If something is continuously sung to you, enda kanisani, sikiliza neno, enda kanisani, sikiliza neno. Ikisema mara 7, the next time sasa utaanza kusema enda kanisani, sikiliza neno, enda kanisani, sikiliza. You've not read it from a page or anywhere, but you've heard it so many times inakuingia. Yes, it's still learning, but it's sort of not written, it's verbal learning. And I believe them they are learning verbal learning. So mnasomewa, mnainterpretiwa. You pick that. So if I come and tell you Suku, from today, hiyo laptop, it's not that brand. It's a different brand. Hujaenda shule, you're a kid. Tomorrow, I repeat the same thing.
Yeah.
The next day, I repeat the same thing. Next week, you'll start saying the same thing. Hii laptop si hii brand, ni hii brand. And because I came to you and I justified it to you without even giving you a book or a paper or telling you to write down any notes, I sang it to you so much, ikaingia. It's psychology. These pastors are working with psychology. Over and over and over and over again, now imeingia. Even if wanachukua mafunzo. And once you have that, you don't want these people to go back to quote unquote civilized type of education. They'll start, their minds will be decolonized from what they've already been taught. I think
Now, Charo, shelving that a bit, let's shelve hiyo kidogo. Because now there's something very interesting. One of the pastors mwenye ameshikwa leo, the Ezekiel one, he came to Nairobi at Kasarani. Kasarani has a seating of about 60,000 people. Sindio? The stadium was so packed that wengine walienda kuset camp nje. Sijui kama uliona hiyo kitu. Now you cannot tell me these are all people that have not gone to school that attended that place. I was listening to one of the radio stations the following morning. That is Baina and Kingani. And some very like educated people called that morning. Na wakaanza kusema ile mambo ya mpango wa kando. One lady actually said she works in a bank. There is no way you're going to work in a bank if you got your education apprentice-wise. You must have gone to school. So I'm thinking this is someone who's very educated and still went there and bought a handkerchief ya kuua mpango wa kando.
Oh, they buy handkerchiefs?
Yeah, they buy handkerchiefs
okay.
ya kuua mpango wa kando. So my question is, what is this that these pastors are telling people? And there was a statistics done by, I think Geopol, I'm not sure. I'll get that with time. It said that in about 8 out of 10 women that you will find in any setting, in any race, you will find that about 80% of the females are so attached by religion. Most of their decisions are made by religion. How true is that? Because you will find that most of the people we saw in Kasarani back then, I'm not trying to say women are, it's a plus for you, you're religious people. So my question is, what is this that is being fed to people by these pastors?
I think, first of all, we need to understand that a lot of us, and when I say us, it's women in this context, are looking for solace.
Okay.
A lot is happening. Everyone, kuna zile vitu wanapitia.
Okay.
And like it has been said, we are very emotional beings. The way we are created, we are very emotional beings. So there are a few ways watu hujaribu to cope with whatever they're dealing with. And one of them is seeking solace in religion. It could be Christianity, it could be Islam, Buddhist. Yes, either. But you see, we are coming from a point of vulnerability where if we get somewhere where tutapewa tu hope kidogo, then we are like, this is it. And then you being provided for with hope, and then you're walking in with faith. So if I'm told, Shaz, if microphone ukichukua uinue juu, ABCD will happen. Because of where I'm from, the point I'm coming from, and whatever na ile faith nimekuja nayo, nitamini tu. Why? Because maybe, let me give an example with mpango wa kando. Maybe I have a partner. My partner has been violent. My partner has not been responsible. My partner has been doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just say, I'm not coming from a stable place. And then I go pale kwanza nihubiriwe, niambiwe, Jesus loves you the way you are. Whatever you're going through, God is watching you. You have to do ABCD. Even the Bible says, when you do this, this happens. When you submit to the Lord, submit all your plans and thoughts there, and they will be established. That's a book in Proverbs 16.
You really have experience with this.
Are you sure?
No, I said I'm a Christian, and I do not shy away from saying I am a Christian. And I do read my Bible. I don't wait for someone else to read for me and interpret it for me. As much as I'll walk into church and listen to the sermon, pia mimi nitajisomea na niweze kuelewa. So I'm coming from a point of nimechoka, I am hurt. It could be psychologically, mentally, physically, and then I find something that tells me whatever you are going through, there's someone who's accepting you. First of all, again, psychology. Umeenda services 2-3, unaambiwa don't worry, cast your burdens unto Christ and he will cast your burdens unto, okay, I know.
Okay, that's why.
Yes. And then afterwards now you start ushaingia ndani, like umeingia katikati. First of all umeshaambiwa, so whatever happens outside is not affecting you as much because you have a place of solace, which is what Christianity and most religion, most of these religious doctrines are based on. We are giving you a safe space. But now we give you a safe space, but now we start manipulating you. We've given you a safe space. Yes. Panda mbegu. We've given you a safe space. Do ABCD. For me, from my understanding of the Bible, kuna zile vitu Biblia imesema tunafaa kutoa. Offering, first fruits, tithe, thanksgiving. Those are in the Bible. But now unaanza kuambiwa do ABCD. And because it's already in you, for you haikai kama ni kitu. Ni kama, you see the way they say once you're in love, hata uambiwe huyu mtu ako na macho 17 huwezi ona. It applies. It applies. So ukishaambiwa bwanako amekuwa kicheat, do ABCD, ukifanya hivi tutafanyia mpango kando ABCD. You walked in there, you were hopeless, you were given hope. Now you are walking with faith that the Bible says if you can move mountains. That's the faith you're walking with. Haujui kama because faith is just something we perceive. I believe tomorrow I will do ABCD. I believe if I take this handkerchief, as you've said, whoever has been cheating with my husband is going to be 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
So at this point, let me just say, to narrow down everything, religion is all about psychology and how you perceive things. But what I'll say from my own perspective as a Christian, read your Bible as much as unasomewa. Usingoje kusomewa na kuinterpretiwa. Read it for yourself, understand it as much as someone else is. Because suckling, surely, yes, fasting is part of. Tumetoka Ramadan juzi, tumeona Muslims, they were fasting. There's a reason why they fast. But now, why would you fast to an extent you are at the verge of dying? Na yule mwenye anakuambia ufast, yeye hafast aone huyo Yesu. Kwani yeye hataki kuona Yesu? Huyo Yesu ni wa congregation pekee, sio wa pastor.
Just hold it right there. Stacy. You've had the super producer. No, let me ask you one question. It seems most of what people are going through is what is developing into all this. It's a result. Hii ni answer ya zile vitu wanaendea watu wanapitia, si ndio? Now my question is, if you have, and this does not isolate only with the Christians. You'll find most of the people who've won, what do you call them? The suicide bombs. And blew themselves because of religion. Because they've been promised, after you die, you're going to find 7 virgins. Yes, or something. You understand? Now, here is my question. Back home here, you have people like Pastor Mackenzie. You have people like Kanyari. You have people like Ezekiel. And so many more others. And you will find that all these people, all these pastors have an escape plan. And the escape plan is saying that I cannot force someone to do anything. Mimi nilikuambia neno, ni wewe decide what you want to do na hiyo neno. Si ndio? So my question is, how do we punish these people? How do we hold them accountable?
That's a very difficult question because personally, I don't know how we should hold them accountable. We will call them out, yes.
Yeah.
We will criticize them. We will make them trend on Twitter for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
But that's the most that we do. I think we have seen that before in Kenya. A few years back, 5 to 10 years ago, Bishop whatever Kanyari
Yes.
was trending for the wrong reasons,
Yeah.
for the miracles, fake miracles he was doing in his church and all those things.
And he made a lot of money after that. After we made him trend.
Exactly. And there was really, after we condemned him and criticized him and did all those things, nothing happened after that. Because my question is, I was actually asking someone yesterday, is there anything in the law that is able to judge them? Is there a clause in the law that regulates how pastors should, operate or deal with their audiences? Because if there's nothing in the law that puts them, in a trap, then there's literally nothing that we can do. If the law does not say, do not coerce someone to do this, do not, do this and this, then there is nothing we can do, because this person cannot say, I did not go and tell this person to commit suicide. I did not do that. All I did is nilimwambia neno, I preached and did that. So what will you do to that person? I feel like I don't know much about the Constitution and what it says, but I feel like there's no provision in law that will actually be able to put them to jail. That's the only problem. And condemning them is not enough. So unless we can find a way to capture them by the law or by the Constitution, then there is nothing that we are doing that will help us. People will keep being told these things. People will continue being brainwashed because, like Sharon said, it's about finding solace and comfort in the problems and the struggles of every day. So unless you're really intuitive and you really have knowledge, besides the formal whatever, mathematics, English, Kiswahili, all those things we learn, there's something that is called knowledge and there's something that is called wisdom. Okay. If you don't have those things, you become very vulnerable. That's why they say knowledge is power. So
discernment.
Exactly. People will still be fooled. People will still be told to do the ridiculous things and they will believe it because reality is tough. That's true. Reality, hakuna mtu anapenda the reality, or no one thinks that their life is perfect. So when you go there, sometimes I usually say hope is for the weak. Because once you're given hope, just hope, Nevo, you can forget about everything else. You can forget about your aspirations and goals because of hope. So sometimes I go through some things and somebody tells me, let's just hope. And I'm like, no, hope is for the weak. I will not hope, I will do it. I will take action instead of just hoping, So if we have struggles, maybe it's financial, maybe it's emotional, relationship struggles, any problem that we have, and then it means we are weak and we are vulnerable, then we get just a little bit ray of hope. We're going to follow this person because they're promising you things. And I think it stems from something very deep that we cannot decipher it in just this sitting. Yeah. And I'm just hoping that people can be, what am I going to call it? We can learn how to be powerful. We can learn how to have knowledge. We can be confident in ourselves and what we know and what we believe in. Literally, there's one thing I usually say. I'm also a Christian, but I usually say I don't advocate for one-man churches. One-man churches means me, I am the owner of this church. Mm-hmm. I am the pastor of this church. I am the one that calls the shot. I am the accountant. I'm the everything. You know why? Because a one-man church is literally a business.
It's a business.
Yeah. And for you to say that you're leading people to heaven, you need much more than just one person. If you really want to lead people to heaven, it's a project. It requires an organization. That's at least what I believe in. So I like what Rwanda president did, Paul Kagame. He closed down very many churches because of all this drama. And I think it's funny that these things only happen in Africa. I think it's because of poverty. I don't know why.
It's the same thing you said, hope.
It's not
People are
happening
looking
in
for hope
Africa
all over.
Because
let me tell
all
you,
these dramas, no, I know there are cults out there outside Africa, but all these pastor dramas, mostly, let's be honest, it's in Africa. So what Paul Kagame did, he closed over 6,000 churches and mosques, saying that all these shenanigans are ridiculous. Who told you you're qualified to be a religious leader? Who told you you're qualified to teach people? And, religion is so big. It's bigger than we think it is.
Yes.
So he closed down churches and made policy and rules and regulations of opening churches and being a pastor. If you want to be a pastor, if you want to open a church, you have to go through these protocols. And I think that somehow helped their country. I don't know if it's going to help our country, but I think,
Let me ask you this. It is very interesting what you said about hope. Let me just give you a joke. Me and Mr. Sadaksa, Sharon, your cohort, yeah? Mr. Sharon Paul, by the way, you share a name. So now, we work for this guy for about a week. Now, this guy gives us hope of how we're going to make money. And we look at what he's done and see, kweli hapa tunatengeneza pesa. So, ile mchezo ya kurushia panya kitu. So we end up working for this guy for 2 months.
Oh.
Yes, because of hope. Hii kitu inaitwa hope ni mbaya. Mbaya. So the guy just ships off. Tunaona picture Facebook, sijui he's in London, sijui he's in what. We facilitated the whole process of him getting to where he is with the hope that we are going to put some money in our pockets.
oh, wow.
We ended up working for the guy for 2 whole months.
No.
Yes. It was so sad.
You see?
Lakini. So now hence to this my question. What is the difference between Pastor Mackenzie and what these politicians do? Because you cannot tell me. Let me ask you one question. We saw the post-election. That is someone who took a machete and went and clobbered the next person. Sindio? We've seen the maandamano. We've seen what happens in this country after every election. People must die. So my question is, what is so difference between that and the politics that we see? What is the tofauti between Mackenzie and the politics that we see?
In my opinion, there is no difference. Literally, like I said, a pastor is a salesperson.
Okay.
A politician is also a salesperson. A pastor is trying to sell to you an agenda of do this, do that, you'll become rich.
ABCD.
Do this, do that, you get blessings. But why I'm calling them a salesperson is because they're not doing it for nothing. They want to get something in the end, right?
Yes.
Which is you get an audience, get a congregation, a bigger congregation, grow people, grow the audience and get more money through offerings, through all those things. That's why they'll tell you panda mbegu and all that. They have a goal at the end of the day. So for them, it's sales. It's a sales pitch. Same thing as politician. They are selling to you a hope. Like I said, hope is ni kitu mbaya sana. Vote for me, and then after this, we will do this. We hope our country will be like this, our country will be like this. They don't have hard facts. They don't have evidence. Same as the pastor. They don't have any evidence that if you do this, you're going to be prosperous. It's just hope. Same as politicians. They don't have any hard facts or evidence that if you vote for me or if we do this because of politics, our country is going to be like this and this, we are going to get jobs. No, it's only hope that they are selling to us. Why? They have a goal at the end of the day, which is to get elected. If they get elected, they get money, they become rich, and they build themselves.
Yes.
So both of them are salesperson.
Yes.
Both of them are just trying to sell an agenda.
Yes.
Only that this is politics, this is religion, different contexts, but
Same approach.
same approach and same strategy. So there is no difference. That is why I don't like listening to politicians. I don't believe in anything that they say, and I really don't care about them.
Yes.
At this point, I feel in our country, it's every man for himself, honestly.
Okay.
Nobody is going to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to rescue you. Not the president, not your MP, not your governor. Literally, you're on your own. It's you to work for yourself. It's you to make a life for yourself and your children and your family. No pastor is going to take you to heaven. That's my philosophy. It's you and you alone.
Well, okay. As we fold this and put it to the right bed, take us away. What's your take about these people? What should we do to them? But by then, before we move, I need your answers, both of you. The cases of the children that have lost their lives, is it the parents that should be prosecuted for that? Or is it Pastor Mackenzie who should be prosecuted for that?
Are the parents alive?
I'm saying for the ones that are alive. Who's to take the blame for that?
In my opinion, it's the parents.
It's the parents.
Mtoto aliamka siku moja akajipeleka kanisa.
Okay.
I doubt.
So you're saying here Pastor Mackenzie is faultless?
I'm not saying he's faultless, but I'm saying the first people I'd question is the parents, because you sold this idea to your child. Sasa kababa, twende kanisani.
Okay.
Ulisikia pastor alisema tusikule?
Okay.
Yes, because you see, if I have a child, I walk to them to whatever a church that is near to me to ambiwe ABCD. Then I go home and do something against what, or the child does something against what the pastor said. If I don't instill, pastor alisema tukifika home tukunywe maji lita 7. But if I go home and just take 1 liter and my child takes another liter and hasemi anything, and I do not instill here whatever mindset tulipewa, then life goes on. But if I get home and I'm singing, mukumbuke pastor alisema lazima tukunywe 7 liters of water.
Yes. So wewe ndio mwenye makosa.
It's me. Okay. I as the guardian, I as the parent, it's me. Because we can decide to get home and not do what we were told. But now if I keep on singing it, ni vile tu naambia mtu, teacher alisema usiku unaongea ukikula na unaongea. They will not do it because the teacher said, and the mom or the father is stressing it. The pastor said, let's not eat. Why are you eating? The parents are stressing. The pastor said, do not eat. Who is at fault?
Stacy.
Tracy
again.
Tracy. I will not accept you.
Tracy, okay.
Anyway, yes, I do agree with Sharon. The parents are at fault, but also this pastor is at fault. The parents, first of all, they are the ones who put this child in this situation. But the only problem is, most likely, these parents are as clueless as that child. Because if they have also followed the pastor's ways, what makes you think they will not let their children follow that? So it's sad because they also are brainwashed, just like the children. So it's like sasa kusema ni ujinga, but hiyo ujinga pia wao imewaingia. So even if you condemn them, you criticize them and tell them it was your responsibility to protect their child, they were not even able to protect themselves in the first place. So what implication will it have to to persecute them for whatever happened? So I feel they do have a responsibility as parents, but at the same time I feel like they are so clueless. It does not even make point to condemn them, because they're also victims. They've also fallen for the same exact trap. That's how they were able to carry their children into. The only person who is not a victim there is this pastor. Because the pastor did not starve himself. He told others to starve themselves, right? But he did not starve themselves. The guy is doing so well. He's not malnourished.
And the argument, sorry to cut short, and the argument some people are making, I've heard in the streets, it's he held no one at gunpoint and told them, do not eat.
Nobody was under duress. Everybody was very...
And it circles back to what Tracy says. That's an escape route for them. It's an escape route for these, I'll wish to call them rogue men of God. Yes. It's an escape route. Mimi sikuforce mtu, walikuja kasikiliza neno, wakafanya. Continue.
So, I don't know how best... For me, the only compassion, or maybe the only pain I feel, it's for the children. For the adults, if you've gotten to a point as an adult where you're being told to do such a thing and you do it, honestly, sina huruma for them, cause hey bana hapana. But for the kids, I really feel so bad and so sad for them, and I don't know how best as a society we can protect them if their own parents cannot, their neighbors cannot, the community surrounding these children cannot protect them. That's the only sadness I feel for these kids, because
it's even sadder when you realize in the current times we are living in, we are living as a very individualistic society. So even if I know for sure Thuku is starving his kids, mimi sitaki kuingilia nyumba ya wenyewe.
Kila mtu aishi maisha yake.
Yeah.
Tuko town, tumekuja town kutafuta pesa, kila mtu aishi maisha yake.
So pia hii westernity pia imetuletea kashida kidogo.
Yeah, because if I always like to refer back to what it was like us growing. I cannot imagine 15 years ago ningekaa njaa, majirani wasikie nimekaa njaa na mamangu anafanya nikae njaa babangu, and they'll be okay with it. Watanipeleka kwa chief. Huyu akona watoto hawaendi shule na hawakuli kwa nini? Right now mnaishi flat moja. First of all, you don't even know who lives next door to you. Live alone mwenye anaishi ground floor ama juu yako haujui. Kitambo tulikuwa tunajuana, ungejua hata mtu mwenye anaishi Adam's Arcade, you'll know. Yes. Even if we are like a good number of people occupying this area, you'll know. I know Tracy's cousin is married to someone pale along Adam's Arcade. Right now, your next door neighbor, hujui nani. Huyo ndio unataka hold accountable for not feeding your kids. It's going to be tough.
Okay.
It's going to be a tough one.
It is going to be tough. Now, as we follow this up, acha tupige serikali kidogo. My question is, there is this thing called curfew. It came with the corona. It's being used as a weapon to combat everything in this country. We saw it with corona. We saw it on the rift the other day, and now it is with the rogue pastors. It seems
there's a curfew.
Yes, there's a curfew in Shakahola.
Oh really?
Yes.
How? Oh, please. I don't know.
That is what I'm asking.
Break it down for me.
So
Tracy, have you heard of the curfew?
no,
Yes, there's
I was
a curfew.
not aware.
So how does the
curfew was imposed? Now, hence to my question: how is curfew helping the situation as it is in Shakahola right now?
That's nonsense.
Yeah.
Because okay, when these people usually go to church at night, or what exactly are they trying to imply by that? I think our government does not have a solution at the moment.
Yeah.
That's why they want to be seen like they're doing something, because they have nothing to do. Because you can't tell me a curfew is going to restrict people from going to church. They don't go to church at night if that's the whole purpose. I don't even get it. I don't understand it. That to me is nonsense.
For me, at 50% during COVID times, curfew made sense for me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of social gatherings, katikati ya wiki, or rather, not a lot of social gatherings happen in the evenings. You've left work, you've gone to grab a coffee or a nice meal in a restaurant. For those that drink, they've gathered to take drinks. And of course, once 1, 2, 3 bottles are running on the table, nani ataka na mask? So of course mtahitaji curfew mkae nyumbani. Exactly. But this one, first of all, these people are not even roaming. They are closed. They were
closed indoors.
in an enclosed environment.
Exactly.
That's one.
Indoors.
Number 2, it's not the entire Shakahola that were starving from Pastor Mackenzie's doctrine. What's the curfew? Dear government, please
talk to them.
Nipeni your content. Netflix wanatafuta content. We can do something. Literally, this is drama. Absolute drama. Why? I'm trying to justify to myself. Kuko na curfew, government imesema kila mtu akue kwa nyumba by 7 kwa sababu a portion watu kadhaa wengine hata si huko walikuwa kutoka Western.
Yes.
Walikuja kwa kanisa ya mtu fulani wakaamua huko na hawakuli.
Yes.
Sasa tuko na curfew.
Actually, there is something a friend of mine told me today. A friend of mine told me that this curfew will even enhance it will heighten whatever is going on in that area. Because if you have people who are indoors, you're giving them more time to complete their activities.
Yeah.
You understand? Because there's nobody roaming with
They
within
have
us.
more time for confinement.
They have more time. These are people who are willing to stay in the house.
Our
not
interior
move
CS
around.
is a professor.
Sorry?
Our interior CS is a professor.
Yeah, he's a professor.
What?
Which leaves me, and actually he's a law person. So it leaves me with this vacuum of non-thinking, because I do not want to think around this area, because I'm missing a lot. How a curfew is going to help anything in Shakahola. It makes sense in the rift because of the bandits. It makes sense during the curfew time, as you said. But where you have people who want to isolate themselves, they actually do not want to go out. They want to stay indoors
And then you've decided,
and die.
sasa mukae ndani.
Mukae ndani
Msitoke.
mukufe.
Msitoke.
So we can dig more bodies.
You know, I shy away from talking about political stuff,
Uh-huh.
but some things that our government does triggers me.
Mm-hmm.
I know you want to show the Kenyan citizens that you are on top of this case, you're doing your best, but listen, can you take 5 and think through? Take 5 and think through. The same way you take 10 to go to Mombasa and discuss your salaries. The same energy.
Yes.
Take 5, think through how you're going to cope the situation. Waking up, I have stripped you of your title. You are no longer Dr. Suku. You
Yes.
are now Suku.
Yes.
So you unajua kuna watu wanajipea doctor for unaamka asubuhi
Yes.
unasema mimi ni bishop.
Yes.
Sijasoma, hakuna mtu ameni crown hivyo. I have stripped you. You are no longer Bishop Tracy. You're Tracy.
But then these pastors who graduate to bishops, who gives them that elevation or that promotion? They just decide for
From the
themselves.
individualistic church.
Yeah, you're those one-man church.
You just wake up and you have a calling. And the spirit tells you, Tracy, from today,
You're a doctor.
You're a bishop.
Bishop itauza hii ministry zaidi. Anyway, they have their own criteria they use. But I'm just saying this. Government and whoever is in charge, take 5 and please think through before you do things. Zingine munafanya tunakaa huku nje vibaya, alafu ikifika time ya kujitetea pale Twitter hatuwezi jitetea juu ya vitu zingine mnafanya. Why I know
ingekuwa these cults or secret organizations zenye watu who meet usiku in the weird hours of the night, it would make sense.
Would it though?
Like kuna those I have seen
I
such cults
I've heard.
zenye zinapatana usiku wa, you know, those dark hizo usiku wa usiku wa mashetani, usiku wa manane. Usiku wa manane hiyo tunaweza sema maybe
usiku. Aren't you going to give them more time to do the activity? Sababu hao watu wakimit wanajifungia mahali. So when you enact a curfew, you're even giving them space.
Because listen, we know, okay, we'll
wait, first of all, curfew means that you are not supposed to
you're
be
restricted. You're not supposed to be outside. You see,
When
the
you
at
are-
at a certain time.
yes. So mmepewa curfew ya kutoka tuseme 7 to 4.
It's 6 to 6.
6 to 6.
Yeah.
Mchana, if at all we want to meet, if this is a cult, and we decide we are going to have our meetings at night for the next 7 days, we are going to shop for whatever we need during the day, and before 6 we converge wherever we need to converge and do our business.
Na serikali tupatie security sababu hakuna mtu atatembea kuja kutusumbua.
Yes,
kuna curfew.
peacefully. Na asubuhi wenye watoke like
Waende
nothing
makwao.
happened. And because pia society we don't give an tuko tu watu huko wanakutananga hatujui wanafanyanga
Hatujui
nini.
wanafanya.
Tunaonanga tu magari.
Yes.
Government.
Last word as we move on. Saa hii ni ya mwisho kabisa.
Mwisho ya Afrika
Any last words? Tracy, I've gotten the name right. Yes. Tell us something.
Mimi, I think I have said almost everything. Actually, since this story, Pastor Mackenzie's story started, I was just feeling speechless, you know? I didn't even think that I had so much to say about it. I didn't even think I had an opinion. I was just like, me, these stories are my past. Sitaki kusikia. Don't bring them near me. I don't want to hear them because I'm just done and done. But for me, I would only cry out to, if the government can't do anything, let other organizations intervene. Humanitarian organizations, child rights organizations. For me, I'm just championing for the children because to me the children are very innocent. So let other organizations intervene, NGOs and the likes, and find a way to protect these children, because I believe they can't come up with a solution. Because at this point, what is our government doing? Absolutely nothing. They will put him in custody or whatever, and after a few weeks, this guy will be let loose. We don't know where he will go. He might decide to start another church in a different location. I don't know. So as far as I am concerned, I don't think our government can do anything, but I'd really, really, really want and call upon other organizations and even other people that can intervene, or even lawmakers, policymakers, people that can really help protect these children. Because if our children are protected and are enlightened and are empowered right now when they're that young, then these things will not happen in the future. But if the kids are not protected right now, it's bound to happen and again, because they're going to grow up with the same shitty philosophies and the same shitty doctrines. They'll become parents one day, and they will also baptize their children into that. You get what I'm saying? So for me, let's do something to protect our children.
Yes. Bwana Dominic Maingi, a colleague of mine from a past, that is a very good friend. He's joining us today. Maureen Mbaye, how is you, madam? I was with you earlier. Thank you very much for joining us also. And Mr. Sadakta is also joining us. And also our boss, Mr. Bitok, he's there joining us. Thank you very much. I see a couple of other people. We're not going to move along with you. It's 12 minutes to 5. It's almost curfew hour at Shakahola. So we are going to give them space so we can go home.
Wakimbia home.
Hii serikali inaweza decide kusema mpaka Nairobi kuna curfew. So it's better we leave early. Curfew tupate nyumbani where there is food and a roof over our head. Thank you very much for watching the Focus Group. This is the only place that you'll be sure to hear such like stories with two ladies who have immense love for this country. You've heard them talk about how most parents are to blame for these issues, and also the pastors that we have at our churches, our role models. These are people we learn through. These are people who enterprise. Apprentice our lives every other day. So any give they do, we take it with both hands and we fold it and give it back to our children. Our young ones are really suffering at this. I was watching a video where a child who woke up today after was it 3 days of sleep. This child was literally in a coma because of the hunger that had engraved him. It's really sad. I was trying to play that video, but I couldn't. I'll try and catch that later. But this is very sad.
Spoken.
Yeah, this is very sad. It is very, very sad to see children suffering because of something they do not know, and I think it is something that should be put to law. Things like religion, these are the very elements that we live by to mold our moralities. These are elements that are put in place not only to take us to heaven as people may think. These are things that are put in place to mold the society into good morals, because a rotten society is one that you'll find people slaughtering themselves every other day. So religions are not there to collect money. These are not enterprises for the few people. These are elements to help us grow our spiritual. They are spiritual. Nilikuwa nataka kusema spiritual, lakini sawa, mahali nimetoka inanikubalisha. So yes, this lady, I'm sure if they watch our show, they know how we end the show. Who knows? Haki msiniambie. Yani in the same office, you've never watched our show.
I have.
Have you seen how we end our show?
Sasa nikiona content mwita sibi naenda mtabaki nikisign out.
Tracy, do you see how we end our show?
Tunasimama.
Then they go me how we end our show. Just tell them how we end our show.
I know you begin with a prayer.
We also end with a prayer.
Oh really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You said you're Christian.
I am Christian.
Let us put you to the test. We want to see how much of a Christian you are. Tracy, are you a Christian? Please take us to heaven.
I'll let Madam Sharon do the honors.
Handball.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's believe and pray. Father Lord, come before thy presence this evening. We thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for taking care of us through the day. This is yet another evening as we continue to glorify and lift your name, Jehovah Lord. We cannot forget to pray for those that are sick in Vulgary. May you stretch your healing hand upon them, Jehovah Lord. Thank you for enabling us to have these conversations here. And it is our belief that it's going to impact someone's life in Vulgary. All in all, Lord, let your will be done upon our lives, and may you continue blessing the works of our hands. For this is my prayer, trusting and believing.
Amen.
Thank you. Bwana Deno. Tunataka kupigana na kafyu.